Hello people of the internet, my name is Reese and welcome back to NoiseGaming. Now, today I have something reasonably interesting, I guess. Today I have a pretty quick, short, long, I don't know how it's going to end up, but commentary for you guys. This is going to be something that I wouldn't normally do on my channel, but I mean, it's here and I want to get my opinions out because my opinions need to be heard because everyone cares about my opinions, don't they? They don't. But the gameplay you're watching in the background is, I don't know, I've not just... Oh, the gameplay will be Black Ops 2 because that's a decent first-person shooter and I'd rather show good gameplay. But it's against bots because I've not had enough time to go online. Also, there will be little clips and images as we go on throughout the video to help explain points and, you know, show you stuff if you don't know what I'm talking about. So look out for those. They'll just pop up on the screen at the relevant times. So this video, I'm not going to cover everything because there's a lot and I want to keep it not too long. I don't want this to get too tedious, isn't the word at all, but I'm going to use it anyway. So I'm just going to talk about some stuff, and heck, I'm a minute and 10 seconds into the video, a minute and 8 seconds into the video, and I've not even started talking yet. So it's going to be split up into basics, and then it's going to go to the single player inaccuracies and just general points, pretty much inaccuracies for single player. Then it's going to be annoyances in the multiplayer, things that just freaking grind my gears and steam my vegetables and all sorts of other anger metaphors. Also, it's the final section will be just general stuff, i.e. extinction, a brief point on that, and the PC ports, which is absolutely abysmal. So yeah, let's go, I guess. So, got a paper, you can hear this, physical paper. I'm kind of in a bad mood already because I just recorded the first episode of a series which I'm really looking forward to doing, but the game was the worst game I've ever played in my entire life. I've played Ride to Hell Retribution. Okay, it wasn't that bad. Anyway, let's go. So, oh, also, quick note, haters, you know, relax, okay? Okay, actually do hate, because that means comments, and that means it gets boosted up. I like to hear people's opinions, cough. So, this single player, okay, first of all, well, I don't know where to start. I have so many notes. I've written them in order, but the one that I was going to start on actually doesn't make sense as a starter. The FOV is like 60. I mean, it's normally 65 on a console, but there's no, I'll talk about, this is PC port, I'll talk about that later, but it's so zoomed in, it makes me want to be sick. Next thing, there's still no legs. Battlefield has had legs for so damn long. You look down, it's a first-person shooter. Really, you should have legs. It makes sense to have legs. You can slide. Why don't you have legs when you look down? Legs are just things that exist. Do Infinity Ward have something against legs? Do they not like legs? Do they think trying to get it across in the game that legs are bad, so eventually people go, hey, I want to be real legs again, I want to chop my fucking legs off? I don't think that's how it works, and it just kind of irks me a little bit that legs aren't in the game. Again, though, just a small thing. My next thing, basic thing, is the fact that the graphics are mediocre at best. Battlefield 4 just came out. Battlefield 4 looks absolutely fantastic. Battlefield 4 looks good on console. It's a really nice looking game. Ghost comes out, it doesn't match up to that at all. Ghost, if you go up to a wall and look at it, you can see the pixels. The texture resolution is not good. It doesn't look nice. And yeah, people are absolutely raving about it. And I just don't understand. Even, I'm talking max settings on PC. Bearing in mind, console are about half of that, maybe even less, and it just does not look good. And Battlefield just blew it out of the water like a fish that was in the water, but then someone came along with an underwater vacuum cleaner and just blew it from underneath and it just went freaking flying. That is the kind of thing Battlefield did to it. And there's just so much glitchiness, which again I'll come to the PC port in a minute, but things just flash. You'll go up to something and it'll be flashing and flashing, it'll be black and then disappearing, and it'll just be flashing and flashing and flashing. It's just not good. They need to sort that out. So yeah, I think that's... Oh, the AI, I'll talk about the AI. The AI is so bad. You can do so much of the game without having to kill anyone. There's only certain bits where you have to kill people, and they are just not fun because it practically plays the game for you. It just does it. It just does it itself. You don't need to do much. There's one bit where you're going through this little kind of canyon-y thing that's not actually a canyon because it's in the middle of a freaking city, and I'm not sure what they're called. But if you don't shoot, if you sit there, nothing will happen. The bots will kill each other, but they'll just keep coming and coming and coming. nothing happens. You just sit there. However, if you walk forward into the enemy's territory, your friendly soldiers will follow you and just obliterate everything in their path. They just destroy stuff. They just go and just kill things because the AI does everything for you. But the enemy AI, if you sit there and watch it, they do such bad things. There's one bit where you can get an enemy that just stands there shooting at the sky. He's shooting nothing. He's looking up, facing the opposite direction except upwards. He's got your back to you. He's just shooting the sky. There's nothing up there. What are you shooting at, dude? Relax. The AI is not very good. They need to sort that out. Again, Battlefield, but then the Battlefield single player was nothing to really appreciate in any form whatsoever. But anyway, so now we're going to go on to the inaccuracies of the single player. Not necessarily inaccuracies, but just, okay, inaccuracies isn't a very good title because there's a bunch of other little things that don't come under that title really, but it's just general things that irk me about the single player. First of all, the lack of content. It's so freaking generic. It's got to a point where they've run out of ideas, so they've started to make things that make no sense. A freaking space laser in the sky. It's just a giant laser that shoots laseriness. Like, whose idea was it? Who approved this? Surely to do something like that, you'd have to do some sort of, like, a treaty. Other countries would have to sign it. Otherwise, they'd be like, just, who allowed that laser to be put in the sky above America? It's just, no one would allow that. That's not what happens. That's not the way the world works. So they clearly just ran out of ideas there. The final scene is just recycled. It literally, Modern Warfare 2 it's just recycled. In fact, there's a scene earlier on in the game which is still the same thing. They recycled the scene not once but twice, where you get picked up and carried by two guys and dragged along, and you get put in a helicopter. In the earlier part of the game, you don't get put in a helicopter, but you get dragged along in the exact same way. And then straight after that, there's a scene that's been taken directly from COD 4 in the final mission when you're in the truck and you're looking around. There's that in Ghosts. There's nothing new. Nothing feels new, really. There's nothing. Fair enough, it's not like the whole game's just recycled textures and stuff, but it doesn't. When I'm playing it, I don't feel like anything is different from what it normally is. So, lack of new content. Hold on, I've written down something in my notes that doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah, I was going to make a meme joke. Sorry, I can't spell, so my J looks like an S. So, my meme joke, right? I was going to say, the campaign is absolutely awful, and it's still a better campaign than Battlefield. Because still a better love story than Twilight. I'm trying to start a thing here, so, just put it on Twitter, a little hashtag there. Still a better campaign than Battlefield. It doesn't roll as well, but anyway. So, next thing. This is where there's just the things that make no sense come in. There's one bit where you enter in some dude's house. I don't know, I don't give a shit about any of the characters. But, you're about to go in the door. He's stood in the doorway. And yet, you go in the door, it goes into a little animation, and he pulls you in. Dude, I can walk through a door. I'm a trained military soldier. I can walk through a door. He pulls you in. He was just stood in the way. If he wasn't stood in the way, if he took a step backwards, I could have walked in. Slightly earlier in the game, you walk in. Cars, bear in mind, these are all from the first half an hour of the game, 45 minutes maybe. Because if I did the entire game, we would be here for a very, 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 very reasonable amount of time. It won't be that long, but we would be here for about an hour. It'd just be so much. So it's just from kind of the starty bit, not the starty bit, but the first half an hour, 45 minutes. So first few missions, I'd say. But you get this car speeding down the road at I don't even know how fast. Quite fast. That's right, quite. That's quite a big, bold, descriptive word. Quite. They smash into you, half of your damage, and they just stop. They just hit you and collide with you and just go boop, stop. Boop was the stopping sound, by the way. They just stop, just on you, and they do half your health. If you then step out of the way and step into the second one, because there's two of them, you then get killed, and it says, I don't remember what it says, what I've got written down, because what I've got written down isn't actually what it says exactly. Avoid moving vehicles, it says. Well, obviously, you cross the... I wouldn't be surprised if they put some sort of like penalty for jaywalking if you died because oh no, you jaywalked, you are now dead, restart, try to do it without jaywalking. Like, the cause is so dumb. Avoid moving vehicles. Well, obviously, don't even. It's worse than Alien Rage's fantastic tutorial of use the lift to elevate. Oh my god, no, it says use the elevator to ascend. Like, what else is going to use it for? maybe to descend, but still the same thing. It's on the floor. I can't descend any further. It just winds me up. Okay, it just grinds my gears. Next thing, you're in space, you're shooting. That's not good. Smash the glass, everything goes flying out. They're all dead. Fortunately and conveniently, every single person has a spacesuit on, which makes sense because they're in space. But if they're in the space station, it's not necessarily necessary. But anyway, you shoot in glass and it breaks, but then doesn't actually break open. It just becomes cracked, and that makes no sense whatsoever because that's not how things work. What was the next thing? Oh yeah, the space station explodes. If you stay there and don't swim out in time, which is another thing I'll talk about in a second, it explodes and it says you were killed in the space station explosion. Well, obviously, that's like saying if you get shot and killed, like normally in the game, that's like having it say you were shot and you died. Or just something really obvious, like jumping off a cliff, you fell off a cliff. No, I know I fell off a cliff. I watched myself fall off a cliff. You know it blew up, you were in it, and it blew up. And also, like I was saying, swimming about, if you press whatever the sprint button is, it's like click the right stick, isn't it? Or R3 on PS3, well, shift anyway, it's PC. But you float faster, you are floating in space. You go from like a regular kind of doggy paddle to like a breaststroke. It doesn't make any sense, you're floating through space. Okay, next thing, you explode. When it explodes, you jump out, you fly away really quickly, exactly like you are falling. Maybe that makes sense because it explodes behind you, the force could throw you. You smack into something and stop. And then you fall off that thing and carry on falling. If you smacked into something and stopped, you would have stopped. The force would have stopped. The force from the explosion would have not been carrying you any further. You would have just stopped. You would have gone back to floaty mode. So when you rolled off, you would have been floating. You wouldn't have carried on falling. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. And then after that, there's a scene when you're back on the ground again, and you sprint. You're walking along a reasonable pace. It then tells you to sprint because you're getting away from something. I don't know. To be honest, I don't even care. It's just generic Call of Duty now. You sprint in, you click the sprint. Your arms start going with a fancy sprinting animation because you have no gun, and you're not going any faster. You keep going at the same speed, except you're just wiggling your arms around. Nothing is happening. That is the worst. It's like they went, wait, okay, so we're going to sprint here, but you don't have a gun. We need to emphasize the fact that you don't have a gun, because if people are playing this game, then they may not know when you have a gun or not. They may just think, oh yeah, it's this game, because, you know, the kind of people that they're playing, the target demographic here is just people who like to murder things, so they may not notice. They may just see explosions and be like, oh yeah, this, and then just, you know, go. So we need to make sure they know they don't have a gun. So screw money on the sprinting, put about 5.2% on that. 0.5.2%, because that's not actually a number at all, but still. And then just put all the money in the animation, just so they know, because that's really important to know that you've not got a gun. It's not obvious that you've not got a gun, because if you've got a gun in your hand, it disappears. It looks the same as just the thing. You won't even be able to tell. So make sure the animation is spot on. So they've pretty much put all the money in a fancy animation that makes no sense if you think about it for more than a femtosecond, because he's pretty much waggling his arms right in front of his face, because that's how it works, because the FOV is like 60. So he's waggling his hands right in front of his face. Try and imagine yourself in a first-person shooter seeing just between your wrist and your elbow. And yet, but sprinting, that doesn't even work in real life. You can just see the rest of your arm. It doesn't make sense. And they've not even put any money into the fast movement. So that scene doesn't make any sense. If you didn't understand any of that, I apologise. I mumble a bit and I make no sense all of the time. That's not even a bit, I'm not even going to deny it. So, yeah. I say for single player, this video is meant to be 12 minutes. It's longer and I'm a third of the way through. Multiplayer. Let's start with the maps, eh? So, everything's generic. The maps, again, just generic. There's just buildings with blown up walls and stuff. Stonehaven was pretty unique, I should say. It's a castle. It's quite nice. It's, just a castle with a field. Can you go in the castle? To be honest, I've not actually played much of that map, and when I have, I've not gone in the castle. I don't think you can. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know if you can. I don't want to say stuff if I don't know about it. So I don't want to say it sucks because you can't even go in the castle. However, if you can't go in the castle, I never want to play Call of Duty. What's the point? They make a unique new map, which is pretty cool for a modern day shooter. It's probably been done before, but not where I've seen it, so it's not that well known. It's pretty cool, and you can't even go in the freaking castle. However, if you can go in the castle, then, well, hats off. But it still sucks because everything else is generic. Flooded is alright, except for the fact when you fall in the water, it's 10% chance of you getting out alive because apparently you can't hold your breath for more than 5 freaking seconds. Rico Rodriguez can hold it for like 20 minutes. Fair enough, he's a spy, but you're a trained military guy. Sort yourself out. What else we got? Generic guns. There's no new guns. Loads. So many guns are just similar, either similar to other games, based off previous guns, or guns that have been in games such as Battlefield and even Homefront. I've noticed a few guns that I've seen in Homefront. Homefront. But yeah, so it's just Modern Warfare 3 was in existence. It was modern guns. It was alright. It was pretty good. Some new stuff in there, some recycled stuff in there. But at that point, it didn't really matter because just stuff like the UMP. But people like that kind of thing anyway. Black Ops 2 came out. Black Ops 2 was set in the future, and instead of going all futuristic and spacey, they tried to keep it to realistic combat, and I like that. And they based all the guns off guns that actually existed and made it more of an evolution type thing, so it was more realistic, and the guns weren't just laser shooting god guns. So you had things like the AN-94, which is based off the AK-47, you know, the Scorpion Evo, based off the Scorpion, the MP7, based off the AK-74U. So just some, you know, it was pretty cool. It felt realistic. Ghosts feel like they've done the same thing, except kept them more modern instead of evolving them. It feels like they've taken some generic gun and made their own gun based off that generic gun and not evolved it at all. Even though the real guns, it feels dumb. It feels like they've not even tried. They've tried to put new guns in, but just didn't really like what the guns were, so they just were kept to as safe as they possibly could and just used guns that were similar to their previous guns. It just annoys me that the guns are just so damn generic. Next point. The SATCOM is the dumbest freaking idea. Right. You know when you get in a game, maybe you're the guy, maybe you're not the guy, maybe you're not having a good day, maybe you're just not very good at the game, I don't know. But you know when there's one person in the team that's doing really well, the rest of the team are just doing absolutely abysmal. The one guy is just carrying the team. You can't get any of that anymore with a SATCOM, because Call of Duty don't approve it. You can still get carrying the team with points and objective and stuff, getting all the kills, but can't even get a freaking UAV, because to do that you have to have 2 SATCOMs. You can only have 1 SATCOM at a time, so you and a teammate have to have a SATCOM to get a UAV. If you place 1 SATCOM, how it works is, if a teammate sees an enemy, they'll pop up on the minimap. However, if a teammate sees the enemy, they're either going to kill the enemy, in which case the dot will go away anyway and it won't matter, or the enemy will kill them, so the dot will be there so briefly, you won't be able to tell where it properly is, which is so dumb. But anyway, 2 SATCOMs to get a UAV. Fair enough, people complained about the UAV spam in Black Ops 2. That was because the score was too little. Add another kill on or something. Don't make it you have to have 2 people to get one to be able to get an actual UAV. It's just dumb, okay? It is. And plus you place it on the floor, someone could go up to it and shoot it and it's just gone. So, yeah, that's a little bit annoying. What next? The kill streaks don't even... What's the kill... They had a Trinity rocket. It's a Predator that shoots 3 times. They added... There's something... I've forgotten the name of it. It's not written down because I saw it after I wrote this. It's either called like the Night Orb or the Night Owl or something. It's like a portable radar from Modern Warfare 3, except it follows you around. It's a floating ball. A floating ball. Just a floating ball. Can I say anything else? They ran out of ideas. They just went, you know what, screw it. I have one of these balls. You know those balls you throw in the air and it flips around, makes a cool pattern? You probably don't, but, I mean, they exist. Probably. Maybe I made them up. I don't know. But it's a floating ball. It's so dumb. Who came up with that? Who went, hey, I've got this new idea, look at it, it's just a tennis ball. Yeah, but if we paint it black, oh my god, it's a freaking portable UAV, let's do it, yay! I just did like a Superman happy, awesome Super Adventure Time pose. Oh, what? Is it Super Adventure Time? No, I've never watched. No, it's just Adventure Time, isn't it? Oh, wow. Well, if I haven't got enough hate already. But, yeah. Oh my god, this game is so dumb! What else do we got? Okay, this really irks me. The Chem Strike. It's like a It's like the thing about nukes was they ended a game and killed teammates as well, and people didn't really like that. So they changed it with the Moab. It didn't kill teammates and it didn't kill them in the game. But for some reason they brought back the nuke with the chem strike. And why do they call it chem strike? Why don't you call it a nuke? I don't know. But the thing is, I'm gonna show a clip. I'm not even gonna show it on the screen. I'm gonna link it in the top of the description, the very top of the description. Phase Rain. He spawns into the game. There's a care package on the floor because he spawned a little late. It's a chem strike in the care package. He then picks it up, gets a chem strike from a care package. As he if you can get them from a care package, so many noobs will get a chem strikes. That is so unbalanced and dumb, and just it doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, next point. The lag feels like you're playing it on a bad computer, which is any computer because the port doesn't work. You'll be walking and the lag, and it doesn't even like a little bit lag. It's very hard lag. It lags like crazy for a few seconds. You have to stop and then you die. But it's not everyone lags. Multiple people may lag, but enemies could just come up to you and kill you. Why? Why is that a thing? Like, that's just not even a good thing. Consoles really shouldn't get that lag, and as bad as they do, it's just awful. And next thing, if you leave, I should say this, because if you leave, then it doesn't matter. If an enemy leaves, if you have a team of 6, and throughout the game, 4 people leave, you have 2 people on the enemy team, it takes a long time for people to come back. Half the time, if 5 people leave, you'll end up 6v1 for like the rest of the game. It's so dumb. People just don't join back easily at all, and it's really dumb, and it doesn't make any sense. Why can't people just join? The matchmaking is awful. Next thing, finally on the second side, pick 10. There's no way to tell how you're on. Like on Black Ops 2, there's a massive bar across the top which showed how many out of 10, which was awesome, and it told you how much. Here, there's no way to tell at all. Next thing, you have 6 slots. Why 6? 5? 10? Why 6? Why? I don't know, let's add 1 more slot on. That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all to add 1 more slot. It's just dumb. Next, I've just simply written the perks. ... because I just don't understand why they've done this. They've just split them up. Perks to take 3, 1, 2 points, you get 10 allocation points, especially for perk. It just is. It's just not very smart. Next thing, the camo challenges. Interesting. Modern Warfare 3, they were kind of easy to get, but they were a lot of fun. Modern Warfare, Black Ops 2 even, had nice challenges, even though headshots weren't that easy to get. However, this one has 100 lean kills. You're getting a gunfight. Wait, stop, don't kill me. I need to lean first and then go. You don't run into a gunfight. Like, leaning isn't your first frigging, what do you call it? Extinction. That's not even the right word. Extinction's another story. I'm not even going to talk about that. Like, I'm not even going to talk about extinction. It's just not good. They need to get rid of it. It's Left 4 Dead 2 survival with drills. Anyway, let's just do the next one. 150 crouch kills. Who gets a large amount of kills via crouching? Campers do. Is it encouraging camping? I can't even speak about that. That just annoys me. Like, why you don't run into a gunfight and then sit down and crouch for the gunfight? You can't shoot in time to crouch. It's just dumb. However, one thing I need to say: 25 3-kill streaks. So many people complained about having to get bloodthirsty medals, which, if you're not familiar with Black Ops 2, they're 5-kill streaks. Well, 5 gun streaks. You couldn't even use grenades or anything, or other previous score streaks. So many people complain. So many people saying that they can get like 2 or 3 or maybe 4. So I'm happy they've made it 3. Although 25 is a little much, but I mean 3. I've put 3 little ticks next to that, so that's alright. And the camo names are dumb. They have, wait for it, I've chose 3 of the most gripping camos: red, green, and net. Red and green. Green is just, red's kind of alright. It's like red, but green's just boring. Who wants my god, it's green. Who wants green? It's not even a bright fluorescent green, luminescent. It's just green. It's just green. I can't even see. I'm colorblind in greens and browns. That doesn't bode well for me. Just green. It doesn't even sound good. Oh, what camo have you got on your gun? Oh, I've got Dia de Muertos. What camo have you got on your? Oh, green. And net. Whose idea was to put a net on the gun? Hold on. The TV's on in the background. It's muted, but there's a naked man on top of another naked man. There's no genitalia, but they are quite apparently naked and on top of each other and in a bed. Okay, well, that's not something to be looking at right now. They're not even doing anything. They just are on top of each other having a chat. Like, legit. Anyway, Net. Who hold? Oh, we need new camo ideas. Black Ops 2 had some pretty good ones with Kawaii and Did the Muertos and all those ones. Oh, I know. I got a net. I go fishing sometimes. You put a net on. I go, no, that's not good. Or you could at least put it in with a good name. For example, Modern Warfare 3 had Hex, which is pretty much net except with a cool name. Net is just net. It's just, whose idea is to put a net on a gun? That's just. Don't know if you heard that. That was me That was me tossing my paper across the room because, well, it's useless to me now. There's nothing else written on it because I ran out of time and my budget ran out, so I couldn't finish the script. Even though it wasn't a script, it was just notes, but still. And finally, the PC port. Oh, the PC port. There's no FOV option. Black Ops 2, FOV went up to 80. People wanted more. They put it up to 90. People wanted more. They didn't give more. They kept it at 90, but they gave a reason why, and that's because the more you have to fit on the screen, because the more zoomed out, the more you fit on the screen, the laggier it gets, and they wanted to keep it as not laggy as possible for the smaller the not as good computers, but the not as good computers just leave it on 65. Let the bigger computers handle like 100. But anyway, I just played Alien Rage at 120. It's not even worth it because it makes it lag like crazy, because bearing in mind it's poorly optimized. On medium settings, I was running it at about 20 FPS. Commonly was dropping down to about 15. And that was on 65 FOV. But anyway, that's not important. So, but that's the thing. Listen to the community. Put it up to 80. We want more. Okay, put it up to 90. We want more. We're not going to do that. But we have valid reasons. Oh, that's all right. We like that. But Ghost doesn't even have that. The next thing, the textures are still just grainy. Grainy, is that right? I don't even know. But it's pixely and things all look ugly. And that's on extra settings. You have to, if you have multiple graphics card, you have to disable one of them. You have to disable SLI to even run it. Bear in mind, this is meant to be a next generation game where a lot of things will require multiple maybe not require, but will work a lot better and a lot smoother with multiple graphics cards. And Ghost doesn't want multiple graphics cards, because if you have multiple graphics cards, all of the textures just die. It's like Ghost is where all multiple graphics card textures go to die. It just is the case. Next thing, you need 6 GB of RAM to open the game. When you are running the game, you can run the game, probably not very great settings, but you can run the game quite happily with 4 GB of RAM to run the game. If you have 4 GB of RAM and 4 GB only, you can't open it. There's a mod to get rid of this, but you have to get a mod to even play your game, and they recommend 8 GB. Bearing in mind, Cyberpower, PC Specialist, Dino PC, Origin, anything like this, mainly do 8 GB of RAM. They do like 16, but that's 2 8 GB. They do 24s, 3 8 GB, 32, 4 8 GB. It's just 8 GB RAM drives. To recommend the max you can pretty much get right now for, well, just full stop. It's just crazy. 6 GB to even run it. Oh my, that's just the dumbest thing ever to even run it. So you would be able to run the game normally, but you wouldn't be able to open it because just Ghost doesn't allow that. What was the final thing? Yes, Steam, the Steam page recommends 40 GB of RAM. Now, I almost had a heart attack when I saw that Infinite required 30. 40 GB of RAM. Not RAM, I just said RAM twice, didn't I? Hard drive space, I meant. 40 GB. 40. The average gaming PC, the average like custom built people on average get 1 terabyte hard drives. 40 gigabytes is 4% of that, roughly. It's actually not, because it's about 1024 gig as opposed to 1000. Oh, it's 0.4%, isn't it? Oh, I can't do maths. I didn't write anything down for that. I had the number. It's 0.4% actually, isn't it? To the calculator. I can't remember, I've just done the maths that wrong. I think it's 1024, because I know it's 1024 megabytes in a gig. And I think it's kilobytes. Okay, hold on. Oh, that's not how you do percentage. Okay, I can't be bothered. It's about 0.4, but okay, it's a large, 40 gig is a large amount anyway. Bearing in mind, mine isn't even a terabyte, it's 500. Anyway, that's all for today. So I hope you enjoyed it. Half an hour, Jesus Christ. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like. The comments are going to be on, but please don't You can't post links anyway because I did that thing where you can block certain words and every link is just blocked. Every single one. Every country link is blocked. I even have .fi. I have Finland. I have Ireland. I have just every country that has its own dot at the end, like has its own like domain thing, is blocked. Also, all the mini ones like bit.ly and adf.ly and t.co, everything's just blocked. So don't even post links, please. And also .org and .net, everything. So that don't even work. If you post anything like King Lear scripts or movie scripts or generally long things, I'll delete them. I read all the comments, so yeah. Also, if you can put your opinions, you can argue with other people's opinions, but don't call people names or be horrible to other people because their opinions are different to yours. Just, have polite art. Well, not necessarily polite. I mean, it's the YouTube comments. That just doesn't happen. But yeah, so just be sure to comment. I'll reply to stuff if I feel it's necessary, if people even comment in the first place. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. My name's Reese. I will speak to you all in the future. Peace off. Boop. That's not a stop. Oh, sorry. I'm so used to pressing. I have a hotkey for stopping Bandicam, but this is Audacity, so I'm still speaking. I'm going to go now. Bye. Please subscribe.